Good morning, students. Hope you are fine. And let us go on today's class. So we are in chapter 3 and we are discussing about the topic tissue level of organization. Clear? So in the previous two sessions, we discussed about the classification of animal tissue. Hope you gone through this. So animal tissue is classified as 4 types: epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue, as well as neural tissue. Right? Again, we have classified epithelial tissue as simple epithelial tissue as well as compound epithelial tissue. Okay? Types of simple epithelial tissue. So again, we have classified the simple epithelial tissue as 5 types. That is squamous epithelial tissue, cuboidal epithelial tissue, columnar epithelial tissue, ciliated epithelial tissue, as well as pseudo-stratified epithelial tissue. So in the previous sessions, we talked about all these 5 tissues regarding the simple epithelial tissue. Fine? Okay. And today we are supposed to discuss regarding this the modified form of this columnar epithelial as well as cuboidal epithelium. Right? Modified form of this cuboidal as well as columnar. The shape of the cell is either cuboid shape or columnar shape, but here it is modified as various forms. So that only we have to discuss in this class. So the modified form of this cuboidal or columnar cells only known as gladular epithelium. So let us see what is gladular epithelium. Some of these cuboidal or columnar cells get specialized for secretion and are called gladular epithelium. Have you got the point? Some kind of this cuboidal or columnar cells is getting specialized in nature like secretion function. If it is secreting some substances, say there is a hormones or enzymes or saliva, whatever it is, if there is a secretion process is there, those kind of the cells are known as gladular epithelium. Right? So now let us look into the types of this gladular epithelium. Classification. So how could this gladular epithelium will be classified? Okay. So this will be classified as either endocrine gland as well as exocrine gland. So there is 2 types is there, endocrine gland as well as exocrine gland. Right? Then this exocrine gland is again classified as unicellular as well as multicellular. Okay? Then again the multicellular glands are further classified as various types. Okay, first one based on structure, it's going to be classified as simple glands and compound glands. Okay, second one based on their secretory units, it's classified as tubular, alveolar or acinus. Third one tubulo-alveolar. Okay, and the third classification is made based on the mode of secretion. It's classified as first one merocrine, second holocrine, and the third one is apocrine. Okay, so this is the classification of gladular epithelium. Hope you understood what is gladular epithelium first of all, and this is the classification of gladular epithelium. Right? So whatever classification is here given, we are going to discuss in detail in the further class. Understand? Let us see one by one. So first of all, we can look into this difference between exocrine as well as endocrine gland. So the glandular cells we have classified into two, right? First of all. So one is endocrine gland, another one is exocrine gland. Okay. Some basic difference is there between these two. Let us see. First point about the ducts. What do you mean duct? One gland will be there. The gland may secrete some substance. The substance may come out through one tube. That is known as duct. Okay. So based on this duct, there is one difference is there for this endocrine as well as exocrine. So first one, endocrine gland do not have ducts, but exocrine glands have ducts. So this duct is not there for endocrine glands. Okay. Then the second point, what is about its secretion? About the secretory product. Okay. So endocrine gland will secrete the hormones. Okay. And the exocrine gland will secrete sweat, enzyme, mucus, sebum, even milk. So these are all the things will be secreted by the exocrine glands. Okay. And next point, route of secretion. How the secretion will be taken. Okay. Already one point we said endocrine gland there is no duct. Exocrine gland there will be the duct. Okay. Then how its secretion, the whatever is secreted by these glands has to be taken to the particular organ, target organ, right, to for function. So how it will be taken, that is the route of secretion. Okay. In case of these endocrine glands, secretory product released directly into the bloodstream, eventually reaching the target organ. So since there is no duct here, this secretion is not taken through the duct. It's directly left into the bloodstream in the blood circulation. From that it will be taken to the target organ where it has to be reached. Okay. Okay. Then exocrine glands. But in case of exocrine gland, already we said since there is a gland, this gland has a duct, the secretory products are released into an internal organ or the external surface through a duct. Either internal organ inside the organ or outside the organ through the duct it will be carried. Fine. Okay. Then few example is given for each. Endocrine glands, of course several examples we can say. Thyroid gland, parathyroid gland, pituitary gland, adrenal gland, etc. Right. Then exocrine gland, few example is given here, that is like salivary glands, pancreas, liver, Brunner's gland, esophageal gland. So these are all few examples for exocrine glands. Okay. Hope you understood what is endocrine as well as what is exocrine glands. Okay. So here we are not going to discuss about the endocrine glands because it is secreting the hormones and its role. It is one of the vast subject that we will be discussing as one separate chapter, right? And for today's class, we are going to see regarding few exocrine glands few information regarding the exocrine glands. That's all, right? Okay. So this exocrine gland is further classified as unicellular as well as multicellular glands. So the exocrine gland is classified as unicellular gland as well as multicellular gland. Hope you understood the difference between these two, unicellular as well as multicellular. Let us see one by one. So the exocrine gland, first type is unicellular. So what do you mean unicellular? Of course, it consists of only a single cell. That only we used to say as a unicellular, right? And here also it's a cell, but it is secreting the secretions. Okay. And it is a definition is given as it consists of isolated glandular cells. So unicellular means actually it's a gland, but this gland is only the single cell isolated glandular cells. What do you mean glandular cells? This cell will secrete some substance. Understand? One of the example is given as goblet cells. Hope you remember about the goblet cells. Already we discussed about the goblet cells, which is secreting the mucus substance. It is present in the alimentary canal. In the previous class we discussed about the goblet cells. Okay, it is actually a single cell, but it is secreting the substance mucus. Okay, the figure it is displayed there is a goblet cell. Can you watch there? Actually it is a single cell. It consists of microvilli in the end, Golgi apparatus, secretory vesicles, rough endoplasmic reticulum, nucleus. Okay, actually it is a cell, single cell, right? Okay, let us go on to the next one. So this is a exocrine gland. Second type is multicellular type, right? So what do you mean multicellular? Of course, the gland is made up of multi means many layer, many cells. So that's why it is mentioned here as it consists of cluster of cells. One of this multicellular gland example we can say as a salivary gland. Okay, so can you see the figure there? And this figure is it consists of many cells. The cluster of cell is arranged together and it is doing the function as a secretory function. And this yellow color cell which is given the border is as a secretory cells. So many cells are there and in the center it is marked as a secretory product. Okay, and the tube is it is taking this secretory product outside. Understand? Okay. Then these multicellular glands are further classified as we said in the beginning flow chart. Multicellular glands are further classified as many types based on certain characters, right? And based on that, the first character is based on structure. Based on structure. So structure in the sense the first type is simple gland and the second type is compound gland. Okay, simple gland as well as compound gland. So here simple gland, the one of this example they said as we said in the previous example like a goblet cells means here only one single unit alone will be there to do the function. Okay, the structure if you see only one cell or only one unit alone there to do the secretory function, that is known as a simple gland. So best example we could say as a goblet cells, only the single unit alone will be there. Okay, but in case of this compound gland, of course we can understand many units will be there. The figure it is displayed there is actually salivary gland, and if you see this structure there, it consists of many units. 3 units are there. Can you watch? 1, 2, 3. 3 units are there. So that's why this is a compound gland. So all these units are functioning together to produce the secretory product as a saliva. Understand? Okay. The next one is multicellular exocrine glands. Second classification is made based on shape of secretory end piece. Based on shape of secretory end piece, or we can say based on their secretory units. Here it is classified as 3, that is the first one is tubular, the second one is alveolar or acinus, and the third one is tubulo-alveolar. Okay, so let us see this explanation. The first one is tubular type. If you look into the structure, you can understand this glands, the secretory unit will be as a tube form. So surrounding there a single layer of cells are there. Actually it says simple epithelial tissue. Am I right? can you regain again? We are all talking about, and all those things we are talking about the simple epithelial tissue only. Even this glandular epithelium also simple epithelial tissue only. So first class even we said, what do you mean simple epithelial tissue? It consists of only single layer of cells. Okay, that classification only we are seeing elaborately. Fine. Okay, now we can come to this point, tubular structure. So the gland is tubular in structure, but it is covered with this, single layer of cells, which means it is a simple epithelial tissue. Okay, and see the second one, alveolar or acinus. Okay, means it will be as alveoli form, like a bubble shape. Alveoli, have you heard this word? In this respiratory system, in the lungs, it consists of air sacs, right? Inside it is air is filled, air sacs will be there, that we used to say as acinus. Okay, so here also it is known as a, since it is a sac like structure, it is mentioned as alveolar or acinus. So can you watch? And this it is covered with this single layer of cells. Okay. Then the next one is tubulo-alveolar. So this is the combination of both the types. Can you watch the figure? First, the glands beginning will be there as a tubular structure, and it ends as a alveolar structure. That's why it is mentioned as a tubulo-alveolar gland, right? And of course here also it is covered with a single layer of cells. Okay, so this is this uh, classification of multicellular gland based on their secretory units. Okay, let us go on to the next one, multicellular exocrine glands. And here this third classification, it is not actually four, third. The third classification is based on manner of secretion, or we can say is a mode of secretion. So as we said already, these glands are going to secrete this either as an enzyme or saliva or mucus, whatever it is going to secrete some substance, right? Hormones are secreted by endocrine glands. That is second chapter that we can hold here. Okay, we are talking about exocrine, right? Of course it is going to secrete some substances. Okay, how it will be left from the gland? Okay, how it will be, the secretions will be, or the substances will be left coming out from the glands. So as per that it is classified as three actually. Okay, three. The first one is merocrine. So merocrine, in the sense, this gland will secrete the substance, and the substances whatever is secreted will be taken out from the glands through the duct, small duct, that is known as a merocrine glands. Okay, the second type, can you watch this figure? Okay, second type is apocrine glands. Apocrine, in the sense, the gland is secreting the substance. The substance which is secreted by the glands will be stored in one apical region, one particular part. Okay, in one apical region. From that region, the secretions will be taken away from the gland, and it will be supplied to this target organ. Okay, it is stored in one particular apical region. From that, the secretions will be taken away. Understand? So that type is known as apocrine glands. And this third type is holocrine. Holo means the whole. Okay, so what happens here? This gland is secreting the substance, the first figure, and the second figure it is enlarged in size, and the third figure, when it is secreting or when it is releasing its secretions, its substances, the whole cells will burst, destroy, and it will release the substance. So when it is releasing the substance, the cell will be destroyed. Understand? That type is known as a holocrine endocrine glands. Okay, the last one actually it is displayed here is a cytokine. It is not mentioned in our textbook, so currently we can leave this. Fine. Okay, so based on this mode of secretion or manner of secretion, it is classified as three, that is merocrine, apocrine as well as holocrine. Understand? Okay, so far we have completed this simple epithelial tissue. Okay, so as we said already, epithelial tissue is classified as two. One is simple, another one is compound. So simple types we have completed in the previous class, and the modified form of this simple epithelium or cuboidal or columnar epithelium we have discussed in this class under the title Gladular Epithelium, right? And the next session we are supposed to discuss the one more type of this epithelial tissue, that is compound epithelial tissue. Okay, and now we can go for some assignments regarding today's class. The first one, what is gladular epithelium? So, the definition is given already here. So, some of these cuboidal or columnar cells get specialized for secretion and are called gladular epithelium. Okay. Question number 2. What are the types of gladular epithelium? Okay. So, gladular epithelium is classified as two types. One is exocrine gland, another one is endocrine glands. Okay. Question number 3. Differentiate exocrine gland from endocrine gland. So few differentiations we said there, and that points you can write for this question, right? Then the fourth question, give the classification of multicellular exocrine gland. Multicellular exocrine gland classification, here it is asked overall. There is no specific point is mentioned here as is which basis it is. Okay, so for example, if they ask the question based on structure, means what will you write? Simple gland as well as compound gland. Or how the multicellular gland is classified based on its secretory units, means we can write tubular, alveolar and tubulo-alveolar. Or if they ask how this multicellular gland is classified based on its mode of secretion, we can write three types: merocrine, holocrine as well as apocrine. But here the question is asked, give the classification of multicellular exocrine gland, means of course the three bases you have to write. Understand? So hope you will go through this and watch all these videos. Keep touched with this and pick up this every portions and learn very well. Stay at home and pray very well. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, students.